Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Underhood Show. My name is Josh Profit. I'm the service director here at Mel Hamilton Ford. And alongside me this morning, Kelly Hamilton. Good morning. Kelly's the quick lane manager for our quick lane down the street. So thanks for joining me this hour. Phil's out racing. I think they were lacrosse last night and headed to Stockton. Yeah, Stockton this evening, I believe. So got busy summer season for sure. So we missed everybody last week. So definitely sorry about that, but just between Phil's schedule and mine, trying to get something coordinated, it just didn't work out. So missed everybody for that. And then so got a good show for you this morning. I got a couple things on my list that I want to talk about, and then I know Kelly does as well. But hey, this is a call-in show. So 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us. If you want to talk about anything automotive, they got something ailing your vehicle, check engine light or not acting right or whatever, give us a call and we'll try to point you in the right direction. Been known to give a diagnostic away time or two. It's hard to I get the phone call all the time. I'm sure you do too. Hey, my car's kind of doing this or doing that, or well, that's great. I've got about a million ideas in my mind of what it could be, but ultimately what it comes down to is I've got to see it. Yeah. We need to be able to get in there and really figure out exactly what's going on for sure. And so
there's like that 1 out of 100
well,
where you can be like, I'm betting if you do this, it'll fix that.
Yeah, I feel there's definitely things that you're certainly confident at. But what I will say is being in this industry is, having the experience that you have and as many years of working on vehicles and stuff like that, you get that, this is what it is. And then you get going down that path and it's not.
Yeah.
Even your most experienced or tenured person can run into that 100%.
Well, and especially with newer vehicles, when we were teenagers and you're working on a 1969 Chevy, somebody tells you what's going on with it. Okay, you need to do this. That's pretty simple, but that not so simple anymore.
So again, call-in show 316-462-3673. Got something ailing your vehicle and you want to discuss that? That's great. I want to talk about maintenance, tires, brakes, batteries, things like that. Let's get the phone ringing, or just automotive industry in general. We're going to talk about a new pickup that was released. They've put very short or brief clips out there of it, and so we'll talk about that a little bit as well. So if you want to be a part of that conversation, 316-462-3673. There's a number to jump on the air here with us. It'll patch you through to the receptionist and just tell them you want to transfer through to the podcast, and we'll get you on live. Each and every caller that calls in, we're going to give away a prize package. Consist valued at over $205, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at the dealership. While we're performing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety related components on it. You'll get yourself $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the Big Corner. Complete nitrogen, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then 44K for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. So all that for a phone call.
Yeah.
Seems
like a good deal to me.
Sounds pretty simple. So, hey, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, what are you gonna put me on the spot?
I'm gonna put you on the spot here, and I'll lead you. I'm gonna lead you down this path.
All right.
I wanted to talk about processes this morning. So, how important processes are, and so not only developing them, but making sure that we follow them, but then also identifying times and needs that it needs to be changed or altered to do something different. Sure. So in this, I think it's regardless of what you do or what your industry is, I think processes are huge, but specifically to the quick lane, specifically to maintenance intervals, and so, for example, the works. So let's just kind of focus specifically on the works. But I want to go through and talk about it to the listeners of what our processes are and what steps we would take to complete a works package. So first of all, starting out, works oil change, tire rotation, right?
Correct.
So
Multi-point inspection.
and a multi-point inspection. And our situation, or when you bring a vehicle here, it starts really as soon. Well, I'm going to even back it up even one step further and talk about the online check-in. And being able to do that. So that's a process that we developed or we put into place so that somebody can, because there are times, where we get backed up in the shop or getting vehicles into the shop. And so you would potentially spend more time waiting at our facility just for your vehicle to get in the shop than you would for the vehicle to get completed once it got into the shop.
Sure.
Right.
Yep.
So now we've got a process that we put into place to help the consumer do that, to identify what our wait times are and to be able to check in, let us know you're coming, show up when that estimated time is, and it will limit your wait time with us. Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now let's go just as far as processes of checking the vehicle in. So what are some of the processes or steps that we have in place for that consumer just going through the check-in?
Well, one of the biggest things that come to mind right out of the gate is, the value of just driving in our service drive. We have Hunter Engineering. They're quick checks, so they're checking alignment measurements and tread depths, and that's just off of pulling into our service drive. So that is something very few places offer. And, it gives instant value just pulling into the service drive. You can look at the TV monitors on the drive, and within, 30, 40 seconds, you're going to see your vehicle pop up on there and be able to see, is your alignment good or is there something that needs to be looked at? And then you'll be able to see your tread depth on your tires, whether you're in an all green condition, whether you're in that yellow condition where we need to start that conversation, or whether you're in a red condition and that's something that needs addressed,
Today.
right now.
Yeah.
So that is a huge benefit there to pulling into our service drive. And then we're going to have an advisor come out there and greet you at your vehicle. Typically, that's always the plan. Sometimes we do get, those rushes where everybody's tied up at the same time, but the plan is meet you at your vehicle.
Sure.
Be able to talk to you about your service needs, what you're there for, what you have going on, then go over, what maintenances are due for your vehicle, complete that walk around, kind of take a look at the tires, take a look at the vehicle overall. And then that service advisor is going to try to help set an expectation to where, are you dropping your vehicle off? Are you going to wait with us? When do you need it back? Everything like that, and try to make that process as smooth as possible. But that is definitely a process that we follow every time we check a vehicle in. That way, makes me feel like we're taking care of the customer the right way, but then also anytime you can put a process in place and do that same process over and over and over again, the more consistent of an experience our customer is going to have, and the better service they're going to have.
So I agree with you completely on that. And so I asked the question. I was going to go through this a little bit further before divulging, I guess.
See,
so
why
we're having this conversation. So what brought this up in my mind? We both got the opportunity this week to interview an individual that worked at a quick oil change place.
Sure.
And through the interview process, just talking with the individual and how they conducted business and stuff like that, my mind was blown.
Yes.
I mean, I know there's differences, right?
So
But
different strokes for different folks.
I agree with that. But what a customer, in my mind, a customer can go to that place or they can go to our place, and what they get and what they perceive they get
Two very different
is
things.
two completely different things.
Yep.
And I'm in the interview process, I'm like starting to get mad because I felt like customers were being taken advantage of.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And there is that handful of customers out there that value the time frame of that, being able to sit in your car and be in and out of this facility in 10 minutes or
Mhm.
whatever, over having their vehicle properly maintained.
So,
And I don't even think they realize, a lot of folks, I don't even think they realize what they're giving up by doing that. And the maintenance that their vehicle needs
versus what it's
that they're
actually
not
receiving.
correct.
So, in this particular situation or instance, we're talking with somebody that is looking at coming on board with us, and again, is it kind of one of these quick turn oil change place? There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that even they're bad or that all of them are bad. But what you perceive as a customer, I think often is associated with the price that you pay for something.
Yeah.
And in this particular instance, like, it's not the case. So, and this particular business or facility, like, for one, you never even leave the car. You are doing an oil change and a handful of other services at most. But in
Get
that,
an oil change, oil filter, tire pressures topped off, washer fluid topped off.
mhm. And in this instance, they're not rotating the tires, they're not looking at brakes,
Correct.
and I understand. So from their perspective or the business model, they're not wanting to remove the tires because they don't want the liability of
Correct.
taking that tire off, right?
Yep.
And from a speed, from a speed side of things, if you're not doing 3/4 of the service, it's obviously going to go way quicker,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you'll be able to turn more vehicles and stuff like that. But the service, so just the service, and then I even had a problem with because they had their basic service, which was well over $100 to start out with. Then they offered a synthetic version of that, and then a premium synthetic. I was just blown away at the numbers.
Yeah.
Initially, and again, not rotating tires, not doing a multi-point inspection, not checking for, any type of recalls on it. Just mind blown.
Yep.
In what that was to offer. But again, like what you said, okay, now there's value in it for the customer in the sense that I can have it done now.
Mm-hmm.
I can have it done quick. But that's still not what's right for the vehicle.
Exactly. Like I said, I think a lot of folks don't understand what they're giving up by going for that deal.
Mm-hmm. So, through checking the vehicle in with us, like you said, we've got the alignment check sheet on the drive. We're checking over, doing the walk around, checking wiper blades, looking for rock chips in the windshield, things like that. Recalls is another thing. We're making sure that there's no associated recalls. Every manufacturer, it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, there's I feel like this industry, as it's evolved, I mean, we could do a whole show just on recalls alone, but the I think the number of units that a recall comes out on has decreased dramatically, as opposed to 10, 15, 20 years ago. The manufacturers are able to identify situations sooner. They're also able to, with better tracking through the assembly plant and what got specific, what
Right.
component and stuff like that, they're able to narrow it down to a specific set of VINs versus just saying, well, we don't really know what all parts or, how many different vehicles these went on. And so,
and now 8 out of 10 recalls that come out, it's a simple software update.
And then in addition to that, through the Ford model line, they're able to do those a lot of the times over the air.
Yeah.
So
a lot of times that we've been having it more and more lately where a customer will get that owner letter in the mail saying they have an open recall on their vehicle. They'll bring it in and we will pull it up on the Ford website and it's already completed over the air.
it's done.
Yep.
Yeah. So I do believe recalls, as far as number of units in operation or that need recalls has become less and less, over the years. However, the number of actual recalls out there and the things that they're recalling for has increased tenfold. I mean, it's nothing. The fact that it is mind-boggling to me, but the fact that a manufacturer has to recall something if there's an issue with a backup camera on a vehicle, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
In the sense that we ought to be able to drive vehicles without a backup camera. But I get it. It's something that everybody comes accustomed to, used to. I hop in an older vehicle now. It doesn't have a backup camera on it. And it, honestly, for a little bit, it'll throw you for a loop.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, but the fact that, that's a recall in my mind is kind of crazy, but it is what it is. And so again, like you said, a lot of it's software updates, things like that. But if it was your vehicle, I mean, you want it operating at maximum efficiency and going to last as long as it can. And if it's a recall, it needs to be performed. And, you go to an offshoot of a place like that, and you're not getting that service.
Correct.
It's not going to be taken care of. It's not going to be done. So now go from the service drive into the shop, and let's talk about a process of what completing that works package would look like on the shop side of things.
Man, we have that is something that has evolved over the years since I've been here. Well, we just passed 18 years here. Last month?
Mm-hmm.
But in that 18 years, I mean, I've changed that process in QuickLane 10 different times. And, but again, having a process in place where, from a technician standpoint, where that technician is going down the same list of tasks on a vehicle and doing it the same way every time, that just helps limit. I'm not going to say completely get rid of mistakes, but it sure helps limit them, where they're doing the same process on every vehicle every time. So as far down to pulling the vehicle in your bay, checking lights and wipers before you get out of it, honking the horn, getting out of the vehicle, popping the hood, checking your under hood components, topping off fluids, everything like that from the hood side, and then setting the lift arms under the vehicle, but not just setting the lift arms under the vehicle, starting with that driver front lift arm, working your way around the vehicle. That way you end up right at the lift button on your lift, little things like that. That's in that process that I have these guys doing. It saves time in bay and, keeps everything consistent. Get the car up in the air, shaking the front end down is huge. Shaking the front end down on every vehicle. And by that, I mean, you're checking things like tie rod ends, ball joints, wheel bearings, hubs, stuff like that. And then once it's in the air, these guys jump straight underneath it, crack the drain plug open, and get the oil draining. those of you who've done oil changes, I'm sure it's a lot of you, it takes a couple of minutes for the oil to drain out. So crack the drain plug open, get the oil draining, get the tires unbolted off the vehicle, and now we can complete our multi-point inspection. So this is where they're checking out suspension components underneath, checking for oil leaks, checking, U-joints, checking brakes, looking at the rotors, measuring the tires, measuring the brake pads, getting those measurements into that multi-point inspection and getting that all filled out. But at that point, they can complete that multi-point inspection and send it, whether it needs to go to parts and gets parts pricing put on it, or whether it needs to go straight to the advisor. Maybe they didn't find anything. Maybe everything's great on the vehicle, which happens a lot.
Yeah.
And they just shoot it straight to the advisor, so the advisor can go kind of touch base with the customer. Hey, everything's looking good on your vehicle. Give us a few more minutes. They won't be too much longer, and we'll get you out of here. And after that technician sends that inspection up, now they can go back to doing the work on the vehicle. Go ahead and rotate those tires, get everything bolted back up, change the oil filter, put the drain plug back in, obviously, lower the car down, set tire pressure, fill it full of oil, check start it, start the engine, let it get oil pressure, check the oil level before it leaves the bay. And then the last step in that is every one of my technicians, if they've had a wheel off of a vehicle, they are grabbing a hand torque wrench, setting it to the proper torque spec, and going around and hand torquing all the lug nuts, every vehicle, every time. And then putting a fresh oil change sticker in there, resetting the maintenance light, and getting it around to the advisor so the advisor can start their checkout process.
It the importance in my mind, like, I don't even know that you can put a value on it, of getting that vehicle up off the ground and the wheels and tires off of it and being able to look everything over
Yep.
on the bottom side of it. And I think of a facility that is providing a service to a customer and not doing that. And that's what makes my frustration level go up, or my blood kind of boil, because it's like you're stealing
Yep.
from the customer to not provide that service as part of a routine maintenance.
Yep.
I think of I think of the mileage interval, and we've talked about this multiple times, but 5,000 miles, that's from Miami, Florida to Anchorage, Alaska. And to say, okay, you don't need to look over a car before you make that road trip, but yet that's essentially what you're doing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're pulling the drain plug, putting it back in, filling it up, and sending a customer down the road
Yep.
like that. And anyways, I'll
18 years ago when I first started here,
yeah,
the quick lane, it was 2 drive-in pits.
Yep.
Okay. There were no lifts. They were drive-in pits, and very similar to what was going on here.
Mhm.
They're
Yep.
pulling it in, dropping the oil, changing the filter, putting the plug back in, putting oil in it, and getting it out. And I bet I wasn't here 2 weeks, and I knew there was such thing as pit lifts.
Mhm.
So these lifts that go on each side of the pit, where you can drive a vehicle in over them. You're still on the pit, but those lifts will lift them up about waist high, but enough to get the tires off, get the front end shook down, actually inspect the brakes, things like that. And so I sourced a set of pit lifts and went to Phil and showed him, and zero hesitation.
Sure.
Ordered, done. And I actually came in here with one of our old Hunter reps on a Sunday and installed them. And man, game changer.
What a difference it made.
Not just for the business, it was big for our business, but it was big for our business because we're catching all the stuff that we had been missing on our returning customers' vehicles
to take care of the customer.
We're loose ball joints, wheel bearings, tie rod ends, brakes, but yeah, game changer to be able to actually get the wheels off, get that vehicle up in the air, inspect those components. The value is massive. If not for anything else, just for the peace of mind as a customer, especially that customer that's getting ready to send their kid off to college or getting ready to go on a road trip or a vacation or something like that, being able to have that peace of mind that, my wheels were off, my brakes were inspected, my suspension was gone over, my tires have been properly measured, everything like that, that's all part of the service we provide in our works package.
Very good. So I'm going to kind of change gears a little bit here. I know we've got a couple of events coming up. Why don't you talk about what you got going on there?
So today is a pool tournament that David Gray, our main shop service manager, and myself will be competing in. This is for Lexi's Lamb Foundation, so they help with providing financial assistance to kids needing to go to like Mercy and St. Jude's and stuff like that. Help with travel costs and lodging and stuff like that. But to that, I went and talked to Lisa Hambleton, and we put together kind of a game plan and threw in a couple of 2 full details and then 2 full radio show packages that we went over earlier for their raffle out there, and then also donating. I'll be presenting them with a $500 check.
Oh, cool.
To the Lexi's Lamb Foundation here this afternoon at the VFW.
Where at?
It's at the VFW at it's on
here in Wichita, though.
Yeah, West Douglas, the one right there north of Town West Mall.
Okay.
And then
that's a great cause.
It is.
So if you get the opportunity to get out there and help support.
They got a raffle going on. There's a taco bar from like right around 1:00. And then big raffle, lots of prizes. I know one gentleman that's pretty well known here in town for designing custom pool cues, donated his personal cue to that raffle. So
very cool.
That's a big deal that's going to be going on there. Yeah, 4801 West Douglas.
Okay.
So
if you get out there, get the opportunity, that'd be great.
Taco bar, $10 a person, noon to 1:30. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff going on over there this afternoon.
Okay.
And then Thursday, we're going up to sponsor the high school in the best H town there is around here. That's Halstead, by the way.
Halstead, America.
Yeah. Going up to Halstead for a Big Blue Night on Thursday. Chandra and myself will be up there with the old ice cream truck, getting yelled at by all the parents for giving their kids too much ice cream. But we'll be handing out ice cream sandwiches, popsicles. That's a great deal up there to come and support that school and that program and those kids up there and stuff. And then we will be presenting their athletics department with a donation from that side of things. So look forward to seeing everybody up there in Halstead on Thursday night. So yeah,
be a good time and giving away that ice cream in this heat. How about that,
man? You're gonna have to hand it out quick, real quick.
I don't know. I haven't looked to next week's forecast because you just is it?
It's just hot.
So speaking of heat wise, I mean, I don't know. I think we probably only got. My guess is we're maybe one more week after this next one. I don't know. We'll see, but we got to be winding down here.
I'll hold my breath.
Kids are all are getting ready to get back to school. You know, if you fall into that category that's getting ready to happen, or got a kid heading off to college or whatever, by all means do that. Get the vehicle looked over, get it inspected, get it taken care of, and do it in the right facility. For sure, because one, it's gonna cost you in the long run if you don't, for sure, especially repeatedly over and over again, to be able to make sure that multi-point inspection is completed on the vehicle, and that it's gonna going to take care of you as long as you take care of it, for sure.
Well, and we've talked about it so many times. I know I've talked about it with you several times on here. I've
Yeah.
heard you talk about it several other times. How many times you can walk through the shop and see a major repair happening on a vehicle that 100% was preventable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with that completely. So the next thing on my list that I wanted to talk about was I got the opportunity, went to the new product show and talked about business strategy for the upcoming year, but then also was able to see and look at a couple of products that are coming down the pipe or the line. So to start out with, everything that we have now, whether it's Super Duty Bronco, F-150s, so basically all the model lineup that we have now, being told that, by 2030, everything is supposed to go through a complete refresh. So, I mean, you think of all the different model lineups, that's huge. And, you think timeline of
4 years.
Yeah, that's pumping them out.
Really 3.5.
Yeah, that's definitely pumping them out. So kind of excited to see what that's going to look like and where we're at. They did make some changes on the F-150 for the 27. Just a couple of subtle changes here and there, but in 28 it is going to be refreshed F-150, and so be very exciting to see what comes of that. And I think of, again, the number of vehicles that they're going to have to go through that refresh with in that short amount of time. It's going to be a lot, for sure. And outside of that, we were able to see a 4-door Mustang. So it honestly, it looked pretty cool on the stage, I'm not going to lie. Whether you're for the Mustang nameplate expanding out or not, I can see both sides of that. I really can. I'm not sure why. Again, it's not my place by any means, and I don't have a horse in the race at all. But I'm not sure why Ford's put that nameplate on so many different things. But also, it's iconic, right? Like it carries a big. It carries a big stick.
It does.
For sure. And so,
don't mean to steal your thunder here, but I did not like the fact they put the Mustang on the Mach-E. I thought it should have just been the Mach-E.
Yeah.
Just leave it that. Don't call it the Mustang, but they did. And then, a couple years later, guess what my wife drives? Well, a Mach-E, and well, I tell you, sitting behind the driver's seat of that is the funnest to drive vehicle I think I've ever driven.
Well, and even over like a Mustang GT, right? Mm-hmm. Like in certain situations or circumstances, I'd rather be in the Mach-E than the GT.
You want to go race around downtown? I'll eat your lunch, but in a Mach-E.
Yeah, you go block to block to block, like that electric, all that torque and all the and it's instantaneous. It's it's right there, is absolute and silent. Like you're not, you don't hear nothing. It's just boom.
Little whine.
That's
about it.
So I do understand that. And naming in general on nameplates, I think of the Maverick, that should have been the Ranchero. I think of the Lightning, an F-150 Lightning. Like, to me, you kind of ruin that nostalgia of the Lightning by making it an all electric thing. Now again, the torque and horsepower and stuff behind that thing, like,
it's super fast and everything, but all electric.
So just the nameplates that they put on some of these vehicles, it's like, man, I think I would have done that a little different, or maybe made that this or whatever. And so
I want to talk about this new truck.
Well, that's what, so that brings me to my next thing, which is the Fathom.
Yeah,
and where that came from and why it's called that, I don't know.
They didn't go over that at all.
Didn't really discuss much of what it is, and so very limited information out there. But Ford definitely needs a cost-effective cost efficient vehicle, and that's what this is supposed to be. They're really changing their manufacturing from a one solid assembly line to more like a 3-stage assembly line. So basically, one portion of the assembly line's working on the front of the vehicle, one's the kind of the midsection, and then one's the rear section, and then the assembly lines all kind of merge together to complete a vehicle. But in doing that, the vision is to be able to produce mass quantities of very similar, obviously, powertrains and power plants, but just with kind of different body designs on it, and be able to do that. And that's where this Fathom comes from. Little pickup, looks pretty similar in size to what a Maverick does, fully EV portion of it. Didn't divulge a whole lot of information, but ought to be seeing that. I'm going to say probably within the end of so it'd be the end of next year, potentially seeing it.
Now, did they talk about the chassis?
So
on that
again,
deal?
yeah, going to a fully EV platform on it. And then that's the other thing, because Ford obviously went down that path with the Lightning and the Mach-E. And I forgot to mention, so really digging more into hybrids instead of the fully electric. Now, obviously, the Fathom being fully electric, but all of the other model lineups, they're saying, that they're working towards a complete offering of the conventional ICE platforms, which internal combustion engines, but also a hybrid platform on every model line. And so that'll be interesting. I'm very curious to see Super Duty wise,
Yeah, same.
what ends up there and how that plays out, and what a hybrid would look like in that. But again, I think there's one thing I will say, because you can pick on a platform one way or the other that doesn't work for you, but just because it doesn't work for you, like, there's a consumer out there that has a need for that.
Absolutely.
And I mean, even our transits, when they came out with the fully EV Transit, and the range was around 200 miles in a Transit, like, there's a lot of entities out there that works great for.
Yep.
And to think about that on the EV side of things, and that's what we were discussing with this Fathom, this pickup that's EV, to say I don't ever have to go to a fuel station again. I mean, you think about that long term and what that looks like. One of the things that they're really we're focused on, or really advertising, is power grids, and being able to charge the vehicle at night when rates are lower, if your electrical structure, if that's how it's charged, to be able to charge at night. But then not only that, they've got home systems that basically you hook into the breaker box, and it will actually use power from the vehicle to power the home when the grid rates are higher. And so it was basically, I mean, essentially, for all intents and purposes, a big battery for your house that helps keep rates. I mean, you think about that, not only are we taking advantage of it when the rates are lower, but then we're also giving back when rates are higher. Like, you think, okay, if that makes a 20 or 30 or $40 swing, each way,
Yeah.
what that can do to somebody's electric bill long term is huge. So it'll be very interesting to see kind of where some of this goes. I think by the time we have all the model lines we have, and if they introduce these new ones, I think of just the number of offerings that we have in class of vehicles and size, and I honestly, I just think it's second to none.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's something out there for everybody in a Ford lineup.
Did they go into how many different models, or how many different bodies that they're going to design for this universal EV chassis they're
Yep.
building.
Yeah. So again, didn't really see. I mean, obviously, didn't see anything specific. A lot of teasers, if you will. But if I'm gonna throw a guess out there, I'm gonna say probably around 6 different versions of it. You know, whether it's a compact truck or a kind of a hatchback car or full size or you know, like a mini transit van or
Sure.
something like that. You know, I think there's going to be I would guess to be about 6 different body configurations that will all come off of this same assembly line.
That
So-
will be that will be something to see. You know, the first thought that comes to my mind is, you know, parts availability and being able to stock parts. You know, if
Well-
they're building this universal chassis, maybe they're same control arms, same brakes, same tie rods.
What?
You know,
Yeah. So not only in having same component across, you know, all different models, but then you add. They were just talking about the reduction of components in general that they were putting on it, and it was astronomical.
Really?
You know, the number of components that they were gonna what were going to be replaceable or part as an assembly. So, which again is when you think of it from a parts and service side of things, like time in and out, like that, all that makes a difference, right?
Yeah, big time.
For sure. So, well, hey, we're gonna wrap this up here. I appreciate everybody's that listened to us today and comments. Kelly, I appreciate you hanging out with me for this amount of time. It's been fun.
Love it.
Processes, procedures. You know, I guess message of the day is just make sure if you're having your vehicle serviced that you get a multi-point inspection that goes along with that. Your
Absolutely.
wheels and tires get off the ground, like the vehicle gets checked over. I promise you that you can get away with that once or twice, but eventually some point that's going to catch up to you, and it's going to be more expensive long term for you for sure. So, hey, everybody, have a great Saturday, and we will talk to you next Saturday.